miss this truck. So it's been about a month since I've given you guys an update on the Ram RHO. I was actually out of town for a while and I just picked it up from the dealership because they had quite a few things to fix on this truck. Which that dealership brought us here with several pages of fixes that they did to my Ram RHO. So the big one was this front driver's door right here. There was a whole lot of wind noise, whistling going on, and Ram said that that is not right. So under warranty, which is awesome, they were able to send my truck to a body shop to realign, it looks like both of these doors, because if we look up close to here, you can see how snug it is now to the line of the roof. Where before in that previous video, this front door was off a little bit. Now, this thing is super snug to the cab of the truck. So much so that like when I shut the door, maybe not as hard, it actually doesn't shut that well, which means I just have to shut the door harder. But the plus side now is that I don't hear really any of that high pitch annoying whistling sound on my left ear. And also the door is kind of not shaking anymore because when they took the door apart, reset the striker, brought the door in a little bit more at the body shop, they also noticed that there were a couple torn seals as well. So it's nice that the dealership went above and beyond to figure out everything right here, which was awesome. So I'm very happy about that. I finally have a nice, quiet cabin in this Ram like it should be, like a lot of other owners have, because that is something that they definitely pride themselves on. Ram does, is having a nice quiet interior, and now I finally have that on my RHO. Now, as for the next thing, I was having issues with my Uconnect system. So randomly when it was playing music via CarPlay, it would actually skip quite a bit. Now, the dealership was not able to duplicate this with them either loading their CarPlay or not driving the vehicle enough for it to actually happen for them. But I have noticed that since I've upgraded to iOS 26, this does not do it that often. Honestly, it maybe only happened once and I've driven this truck for maybe 3 hours in total or so. But the Uconnect system, since it's been upgraded with my new phone, it does not seem to skip as much as it used to. And since we're in the truck, you guys may have noticed I've been wearing this Tecovas hat this whole video. They are a sponsor here on the channel, supporting this video as well. If you guys want to pick up your new future favorite pair of boots, go ahead and utilize my link down in the description or use the QR code here on the screen. We are going to be taking this truck back to Arizona, and that's actually where we were able to go to their Scottsdale location to pick out some boots. My wife, she got the Annie version of the boots. She looks so freaking good in cowgirl boots, man. And then I actually picked up the Dusties, and when I took them out of the box and put them on, they felt like I've been wearing the pair of boots forever. I don't wear cowboy boots that often. I used to a lot, but my toes and everything always hurt. But the moment I took these out of the box, I felt like I could do laps around the Tecovas store down there in Scottsdale. And that's something that Tecovas prides themselves on, is being super comfortable boots right out of the box. So if you guys want to check out their website store or go to one of their locations, if you have one near you, you guys totally can. But you can utilize my link in the description, or again, scan the QR code here on the screen. Tecovas, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Let's get into the next thing that the Ram dealership fixed. Now, the next thing brings us to our bedside. This used to be pretty oxidized right here, just like it was some bad plastic from the factory. And we have a nice new plastic bed rail on our passenger side. So if you guys are having that issue with your Ram, take it to the dealership. Maybe mine was just a one-off with that, but they replaced that bed rail side for me. So another issue that I was having was some rough idle. I showed you guys that in the video. You can also see it here again. The truck almost died under its own idle, which is very, very weird. Now, unfortunately, the code that I had, which I cleared out with a code reader, they were not able to read that at the dealership. So since I cleared it out, it was no longer in the vehicle's memory for them to pull that to see. So unfortunately, they weren't able to really do anything about it. If the code comes back for my third check engine light, then I will just take it straight to Ram, not clear it myself, to hopefully figure something out. What they did state in these notes, though, is they talked to their sales manager who has a high output Ram, just like me, and his idle's the exact same way. Now, there have been other people on the Facebook pages that their engine actually died on them, which is kind of crazy, like just died and it had to have an engine replacement. And theirs was having a very rough idle up and down. But apparently these high outputs, maybe they just surge a little bit in the RPMs. I've heard some people's theirs doesn't do it, other people's theirs does. So right now it's acting as just proper performance. That's how the truck is supposed to do it. But if I get a third check engine light, I will take it straight back to the dealership and let them know, hey, there's definitely something wrong. And the last thing brings us back inside the Ram RHO, and it has to deal with my hands-free driving. Now, I had them do one more alignment on this truck because even after the TSB that I did at the previous dealership, this truck was still pulling like to the passenger side. They redid the alignment. It was off again. Things were in the red, unfortunately. So they redid the alignment. Now my steering wheel, when I'm driving, it's kind of like this, going straight, which that is either a improper alignment or there's something else going on with the steering wheel. So the steering wheel kind of goes like this when I'm driving straight. If I let go of the steering wheel, the truck does track straight, which is fine. But whenever I go into the hands-free driving of this vehicle, it worked flawless when I bought it. I drove a lot with my hands off the steering wheel, as I showed you guys in my initial buying and first impressions of this vehicle when I drove it from Louisiana all the way back to Florida. It worked great. But now when I press it and it says hands-free driving basically engaged, it then immediately says driver override and it just shuts itself off. So I'm not sure if there's something still going on in the computer of this truck thinking like I'm putting pressure against the steering wheel, or if the alignment is just off ever so slightly to where the computer's like, nope, the truck's out of alignment. We can't calibrate that and give you hands-free driving. So that really wasn't fixed on this truck at all, which is a little frustrating because that's an upgrade with the level 1 package, and that stopped working for me just almost immediately, like when I got this truck back home. So that's a quick little update for you guys after going to the dealership with the Ram, them fixing a good amount of stuff with it, us also documenting again that the idle is surging on this truck. They fixed the door, they fixed the window noise for me, they fixed the bed rail, and they also gave the truck yet another alignment. So we're back in spec for now. So I'm comfortable to drive the truck again from Florida all the way to Arizona and back. I will keep you guys updated when we do take that road trip, what the truck does MPG-wise, how it is having 2 dogs, a cat, my wife and I in it, loaded up with a whole bunch of our things. I do have more mods coming for the Ram as well that I will be installing for you guys a little bit later, which are going to be nice. So we're going to get a nice bed cover from Paragon for it, couple interior things as well, and maybe some bigger tires in the future. I'm not 100% sure yet. But guys, I truly appreciate you all watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. All right, see you later.